Most people unknowingly cede control. They try to please everyone by agreeing too soon and rushing to explain. Then they question why they aren't respected. You'll discover how to reverse that in this video. You'll learn how to maintain your composure, quit seeking approval, establish boundaries early, and maintain your lead even when others begin to express interest. These are habits you can develop to make respect come naturally. They are not tricks. Keep watching because the final section will provide you with precise guidelines that you can adhere to without overanalyzing any given circumstance. They want you to follow their rules. When they try to get you to fit into their frame, you forfeit control and the opportunity to lead if you agree. This occurs in friendships, at work, and even when dating. Someone poses a query or a challenge. They watch for your response. You're already behind if you respond according to their terms. Slowing down is crucial. You are not required to respond immediately. You are under no obligation to respond. Silence can sometimes be more powerful than any response. Recognize when you are under pressure to react. They use that pressure. They win if you respond quickly. You create space when you pause. You decide what to do next in that area. For instance, "Why are you still single?" is asked. You're playing defense if you jump to an explanation. You maintain control if you say, "Good question," smile, and go on. You demonstrate that you don't have to defend yourself. Those who don't try to please others are respected. When you stand your ground, they notice the difference. It has nothing to do with being impolite. It's about demonstrating that you make the decisions. The frame can also be flipped. Ask a question back instead of responding. You can respond, "Why do you ask?" If they ask, "Why don't you have this yet?" This returns the attention to them. They're the ones giving the explanation now. Setting the tone is more important than winning every conversation. People adapt to you when you set the tone. They don't even realize they're playing your game. This ability develops with time. You might still react at first. You may find yourself giving too many explanations. It's all right. You can slow down whenever you notice. You will also be able to hold your frame effortlessly with practice. Here's something to keep in mind. Don't respond right away. Observe when someone tries to manipulate the frame. To change control, use questions, brief responses, or silence. Don't lose sight of your priorities. When you stop responding to people according to their terms, you'll notice that they treat you differently. They won't test you as much. You'll gain more respect from them. And since you're not constantly defending yourself, you'll feel more at ease. You'll see now why the quickest way to lose someone's respect is to try too hard to keep them happy, and how a single, minor alteration to your daily routine can completely change how people react to you. The majority of people are unaware of how much of their day is devoted to seeking approval. It's in the little things, like laughing at a joke you didn't find funny, agreeing with something you don't believe, or volunteering to help someone just to gain their approval. Although it seems innocuous at first, it gradually undermines your self-esteem. You teach others that their viewpoint is more important than your personal comfort. They expect it more, the more you do it. And the more you believe that, in order to be accepted, you must continue doing it. Because it is disguised as kindness, approval seeking is subtle. You believe that you are merely being kind. However, it is no longer kindness, but self-defense, when your kindness stems from a fear of losing someone's favor. And the difference is perceptible. They may not express it verbally, but they sense it. It alters their perception of you. You become dependable, secure, and susceptible to manipulation. Consider the instances in which you wanted to say no, but instead said yes. Although you convince yourself that it's simpler to just follow along, you secretly feel the consequences. Resentment is that weight, and it keeps growing. If you keep stepping back to give people space, you can't hold them accountable for pushing. You must eventually remain motionless. Small steps are the first step in breaking the habit. Think before you agree the next time. Do I really believe this? Ask yourself. Don't agree if the response is no. You don't need to initiate a dispute. Just refrain from participating. Try a succinct, straightforward response when someone asks you to do something you don't want to do. "I can't right now." No justifications. No lengthy justifications. People may initially be taken aback. They are accustomed to your bending. Some may even exert more effort. However, they will adapt if you remain consistent. More significantly, you will begin to feel different. When you don't give your words away so easily, you'll notice that people respect them more. You'll discover that saying no keeps the right people around rather than making them leave. Because it provides a brief sense of relief, approval is addictive. However, it takes control of you, just like any addiction. To be free means to accept that you won't please everyone. Yes, you will lose some people. However, those who stick around will do so because they genuinely value you, not because you are constantly accommodating to their demands. Keep in mind that when you stop trying to buy respect, it grows. Make your own decisions. Talk truthfully. Respect your comfort just as much as theirs. You stop giving up your power the instant you quit seeking approval. You'll discover that withholding some facts can actually increase the value of what you say. We'll examine how people's listening patterns can be altered by saying less, even when you are more knowledgeable, and how this subtle control transforms every interaction you have. Most people talk too much. They believe they sound more convincing the more they explain. In actuality, though, the more you talk, the more opportunities you give others to criticize what you say. Although it may feel awkward at first, silence is one of your most powerful tools. Each word has greater weight when you speak less. Individuals lean in. They pay closer attention. They are curious about your thoughts, which gives you an advantage. If you answer every question in full detail, there's no mystery. They have no reason to continue to wonder about you. Consider a period of time when a person you respected didn't say much. They took their time, filling in all the gaps. They felt no need to provide an explanation. Everyone listened when they eventually spoke. It wasn't a coincidence, it's command. When and how much to give is up to them. This is something you can practice immediately. Try responding briefly and ending there the next time someone asks you a personal question. Don't add unnecessary details to the silence. Allow them to sit with it. They will ask for more if they desire it. You can decide whether to give it to them if they do. This can also be used in disputes. The majority of people argue by stating every possible argument. However, you project confidence and self-assurance if you choose one or two strong points and leave them alone. To prove your point, you don't have to bombard them with details. Speaking less does not imply that you are concealing the truth. It indicates that you cherish it enough to keep some of it for yourself. It's similar to money in that you don't give it away to anyone who asks. Where it counts is where you spend it. The same is true of words. This holds true for relationships and dating as well. There won't be anything left to learn if you tell someone everything about yourself in the first hour. People are kept interested by mystery. They continue to be interested when they believe there is more to learn. The excitement wanes when they believe they have figured you out. Holding back will feel weird at first. You may be concerned that others will believe you are concealing something. However, you will notice the change as you adjust. People will begin to value your opinions and time more. Rather than relying on you to fill the air all the time, they will wait for your opinions. Being in control involves more than just what you say. It also involves what you decide not to say. Your words become valuable when you make them uncommon. People pay attention when they are valuable. Because they believe it will result in conflict, most people steer clear of disagreement. Some get too involved and start an argument. Both strategies fall short. You become invisible if you completely avoid conflict. People will stop listening to you if you attack every time. Disagreement that fosters respect is the aim. Distinguishing response from emotion is the first step. It is possible to have strong feelings about something without expressing them verbally. Pause if someone says something that you disagree with. Give them time to finish. You appear composed and in control when you pause calmly. Then, succinctly and clearly, express your opinion. More important than volume is tone. You can express your strong disagreement in a quiet way. People must pay closer attention to what you have to say if you are quiet. Yelling only draws their attention to your tone rather than your message. Another important thing is to keep it brief. You give them more opportunities to divert you from your topic the longer you speak. Use 1 or 2 sentences to make your point, then stop. Take advantage of the silence. Instead of straying into unrelated debates, people will frequently fill it by answering your main point. Additionally, you don't have to win the moment. It is sufficient to plant a calm, powerful point. People may initially object, but they will later reconsider. Your words start to take effect at that point. They become defensive, and are less inclined to take your side if you try to disprove their opinion all at once. Sometimes, asking a question has greater impact than making a statement. Why do you think that? Is a good question to ask if you hear something you disagree with. They are forced to defend themselves as a result. It moves the emphasis from you arguing your position to them establishing theirs. They will frequently point out your weaknesses before you launch an attack. The most composed person typically has the most sway in arguments. Even the person you're arguing with will remember your control if you maintain your composure while they become agitated. Start by practicing this in low-stakes scenarios. When the subject is unimportant, it is simpler to form the habit. In this manner, you will already know how to maintain your composure when it matters. You shouldn't be afraid of disagreement. When done correctly, it demonstrates your independence and willingness to stick to your convictions. Even people who don't agree with you respect that. You'll now understand how establishing minor boundaries now can help you avoid more serious issues later. We'll go over how to recognize when someone is trying to test you and how to stop them with a straightforward, non-intrusive response without ever having to defend yourself. Walls are not boundaries. These lines let people know where you stand. Setting them early helps you avoid more serious issues later. The majority of people wait too long. They put off minor problems until they become major ones. By then, the other person has become accustomed to stepping over your boundaries, making it more difficult to fix. When someone tests a boundary for the first time, it's the ideal moment to establish one. A joke you don't like, an odd request, or a favor that requires more than you're willing to give could all seem like little tests. Many people ignore it because they don't think it's worth a fuss. In actuality, though, you teach them that it's acceptable every time you overlook something. It's not necessary to become irate or give a lengthy explanation in order to set boundaries. In actuality, it lands stronger the quieter you make it. You can simply state, "I'm not okay with that," and move on. If someone says something that bothers you, you can say, "I can't do that," without expressing regret or going into too much detail if they ask for something you don't want to do. People frequently worry that if they set boundaries, other people will not like them. It's the other way around. Although they may push back at the time, people eventually respect those who don't back down. Setting boundaries demonstrates to others your respect for your time, comfort, and individuality. Boundaries also have the advantage of weeding out undesirable individuals. The people who would have persisted until you burned out are the ones who can't take a simple no. You can avoid more serious disputes later on by establishing your boundaries early. Start small if you're not accustomed to establishing boundaries. Practice in low-pressure scenarios. If you don't want to go, decline the invitation. When you're ready to leave a conversation, politely end it. These little deeds create the habit so you can confidently take on larger ones. Using action rather than threats to enforce boundaries is one of the best strategies for keeping them in place. If someone continues to engage in a behavior that you have stated you will not tolerate, stop discussing it and leave the situation. Boundaries are made real by actions. Keep in mind that you can establish limits without being severe. It is more effective to be calm, clear, and consistent than to be loud or emotional. People will eventually understand your position and won't expend energy attempting to push past it. Setting limits isn't about dominating other people. They are about taking charge of your own time, energy, and tranquility. You won't have to battle for them later if you set them early. Here, you'll see how maintaining a consistent lead in any interaction prevents others from turning the tables on you. We'll examine how to maintain your position once they express interest and why most people lose their edge at this point. A common mistake is to unwind too soon. They establish the tone, take charge of the conversation, and hold themselves well at first. However, they let their guard down. As soon as the other person begins to show interest, they begin to pursue. They give more than they ought to, and they cede the authority they have earned. Because interest equates to safety, this occurs. I have them now, you think. However, respect or attraction is a balance that you must maintain rather than a destination. They will notice if you abruptly alter your behavior just because they are leaning in. It conveys the idea that you value their approval over your own standards. Maintaining the lead after interest demonstrates your independence from their response. It demonstrates that your actions are not an act you put on to attract their attention. You don't change because that's who you are. More respect and trust are gained by this consistency than by any one-time effort. Following your pace is an easy way to maintain the lead. Don't start responding right away just because they're more responsive if you were previously responding on your own time. Don't start rearranging everything for them if you were making plans that worked with your schedule. Just because they are paying attention doesn't mean that your time is suddenly less valuable. Maintaining a balanced conversation is another strategy. Give them more time to talk. To keep them interested, don't bombard them with compliments or additional stories. Give them space to demonstrate their investment if they have already expressed interest. This keeps you in a situation where they continue to attract your attention rather than the other way around. This could entail delaying making long-term contact after a successful first date. In the business world, this could mean not cutting your price because a customer appears eager. It might entail maintaining your own priorities in friendships even when they start inviting you to everything. The same idea applies. Interest is not a sign that you should start giving more than you get in return. How you respond to success in an interaction is the true litmus test for leadership. At the beginning, anyone can hold their frame. When they believe they have won, few are able to hold on to it. However, those who maintain it are the ones that others still value, respect, and follow. Keep in mind that maintaining your position is just as important as how you got there. Don't become irresponsible because of early successes. The respect you earn will endure if you continue to lead. You'll discover how to make all of these routines automatic. We'll go over a set of precise guidelines that you can adhere to without overanalyzing, allowing you to maintain control over every interaction without having to constantly monitor yourself. You've just learned how to hold your frame. Stop chasing approval, set boundaries, and keep the lead in any interaction. But there's a deeper level of control most people never reach, and it's where the real power is. If you want to see how to apply these ideas with precision, watch my next video, Machiavelli's Hacks to Control Any Woman, Dark Psychology. It breaks down exact moves that shift the dynamic without force or drama. Click it now, because the sooner you learn them, the sooner you stop giving away control you didn't even know you had.